Evening all. Thought I'd try you at a different angle. I've had a request to do some top-down shots. So here we go. Sit down, do the intro. So, we're battling with Storm Claudia at the moment. It's named by the Spanish Met Office. So the river will be up, the River Severn. Luckily we won't get flooded. But hopefully I won't be able to get to work on Monday. Which should be quite nice. We'll see how that goes. Yes, so not only is it cloudier, it's wetter and windier. Starting with a gag. So, looking at our plan then. One thing I've done with, so we're making a dog out of a beach. And that's the rough, general. A pair of gates, pair of doors. And I've made quite a few doors now. So making it out of beach. I ripped them last week. Did I? Yeah, it must have been last Friday. And I've left them to settle, to acclimatise. It's very, very important with door material that it is flat and square. It looks all right, but when you look at it under the ruler, don't know if you can see that. There's a big, so they're bowed, they're kind of U-shaped. Not a great deal, but we need to take that out. You just saw it then, a little bit of light under there. Anyway, take it from me. And the other side is the opposite, so that's a bit crowned. So we need to do a bit of work on that. I've done one already. It's a beautiful beach. It's a real treat working with beach. But it's come out of a big slab from the pastry bench top. So it was very constrained. So now it's cut into smaller lengths. There's a bit of movement. So in this part, my aim is to get, I don't know if we'll get to layout in this one. It's just working on the material, getting it square, getting it in a good condition to start doing the layout and then do the joinery. I'm not going to sweat too much about this diagram is completely out of scale, but I've got 20 inch. It's I've fitted the posts already and it's 40 inch. When I'm making doors, I like to make them quite generous, not massively oversized, but quite leaving myself plenty of room for manoeuvre. So the stiles, the post is 31 inches. The rails, well, I'll show you how you do it. I don't, when you get to, as long as it ends up 20 inch wide, it's going to be fine. I just tend to work by the lengths and widths of the thicknesses of the material I'm working with, which is, so these are going to be the stiles. So they're 1 5/8 by 7/8. So again, they're quite generous. The rails, it's slightly out of proportion. The top rail ideally should be the same width as the stiles, but that's 2 inch. And the 2.5 inch for the bottom rail. I'm going to do throw tenons. I'm quite fond of the arts and crafts movement, which was arts and crafts in Britain. It's more craftsman style in America. And one of the aspects of arts and crafts movement was that the joinery was on display to show its honesty, and so people could see it, how it was made, and it really is handmade rather than dowels or whatever. So we're going to do some clean-up first, and then we'll do the layout, and then maybe in the next part we'll move on to the joinery, see how we go. And in later episodes, when I do the mortising, you'll show you how I use my mortise bench as well. So I've sharpened up my plane. I've got sharp saws now, I've sharpened my saws. I've got a load of new pencils. And sharpened. Right, you badger. What do we think about you? So this is just a 1 metre steel, aluminium rule. This one ain't as bad as the other one. It's not bad at all, actually. Let's see how we go. Against the grain, this. Tempted, actually. I don't know how sharp it is. The joints are on it. Yeah, it's just a bit in the middle now. Should be it. What I'm doing is, there's a hump here, and I found that by wobbling it that way, but also spinning it side to side. Come with something shorter. It's generally where this mark is. I don't know if that's a knot or something. Yeah, that's the one. Just going to check the other side. So I'm not putting a lot of pressure on the ruler, on the straight edge. That's very close, actually. So I'm going to take a bit off this side, just to establish a continuous shaving, and then just go through the middle. Quite a lot of saw teeth marks on this one. Going up the middle now. With the long piece of wood in the vise, when you, especially if you've got a heavy plane, it can actually bow, make it even worse. Nearly there. One up the middle. Very close. Very slight bellies there, so I'm just going to take the bit out the middle and then the ends. That belly's moved in. That's the one. So once we've got rid of any bowing or crowning, now it's time to check for wind. Very slightly high that end. It's a bit difficult, the background's quite dark there and these aren't. High contrasting as they once were. It's gone the other way now. Let's get in there. Yes, I'm happy with that. It needs to be very accurate because it's a very long, well, it's not very long, it's not miles, but it's a long distance. And unlike a traditional panel door, there ain't going to be a panel in it to help it stay stable. It's just going to have spindles. So I've gone for beech, which is very hard, and I'm gone for very, very accurate, so that once it's glued up, it's only a dog gate, but take pride in your work. So that's face edge. It's very square, so it just needs a couple of passes to take the muck off. Not sure about the grain direction. It's quite difficult. Oh, no, it's good actually. That's the one. So what I'm doing, the blade's got a little tiny camber on it. Just took the corners off, so I can get some advantage by. This was a little bit, tiny bit out of square, so I just put the plane on the edge, not in the centre, and that's just took off the little bit of highness there, and that is beautiful. So that's a face. This was the top of the table, so it's been exposed to sunlight and students, pastry fingers. Yuck. Bit of a dip there. We'll get there. We're doing a bit wonky. Getting there. Nearly there. One more, I think. No, that'll do. Happy with that. I'm not going to take the iris off because there's going to be mating faces and I don't really want an angle. I want them flush. So I just have to be careful. I've got my glove on. Did we do the back edge? Yes, we did. So that's that one done then. So we've got two of them now. Pair of styles. Now it's rails. Which face do I fancy? These are thicker, wider. So they'll probably be less, and they're shorter. So they're gonna not as have warped as much. That's very good actually. An indication of grain direction. Yes. Nice. When you're planing off, you can add crown to it. It's just a good idea. Just to check yourself. Beautiful. Flip. Because the grains go in this, I looked at it. And the grain was going up that way, so I was going to flip it over. Being able to tell grain directions once you've cracked it. That's flat. Flat as a pancake. Check for wine. Ever so slightly high. Single pass. That did it. So, face edge. mortar that in. Right on the edge. Beautiful. There we go. Cut my finger the other night. Reopened old wounds. I cut my finger a few years ago. I cut my finger quite bad. So I wrapped it up. I said to the wife, right, showed her because she's a nurse. Oh, right, you'll have to have stitches. So we went up the hospital. And don't have to wait too long. So the nurse said, yeah, come on then. Doesn't need stitches, we'll glue it. I was like, what? All right then. So she said, right, pinch it. She said, this is going to smart a bit. So she pinched it tight. And she put super glue. Sprayed it, poured super glue on and sprayed it with the activator. I said, is that a thing? She went, yeah. I said, right, I could have done that. Oh, no, we have to be trained. It was like, yeah, right. So now I know what to do if I get a bad cut. I'll super glue the bugger. I have a range of super glues. Viscosity, low, medium, high. I can do that. Everything for time, 28 minutes. I think that's it for tidying up then, isn't it? Oh, no, there's one more. Clueless, not a Scooby. Let's see how we go. In terms of grand direction. Super glue. Definitely getting there, aren't we? We are flat. Are we windy? We're windy out there. Are we windy? No, a tiny bit again. So I've just took shaving off posing corners. And that should have done Oh yes. There we go. That'll do with them. I think they're down the garage. If you can't be asked to make winding sticks, don't have to. You could even get a bar of aluminium, a ruler, or what I've got down the garage. I've just got some aluminium tracking and just cut it in half. What do I have? About 18-inch lengths. How long are these? And just put some blue tape along one of them, and you've got a pair of winding sticks. And then when you've got time, you can make some 16-inch. I mean, this track, anything factory made, rulers, tracking, it's going to be accurate enough for us DIY warriors. DIY warriors, my arse. Done that one. We go. Now, the back face. Ah, beach, beautiful. Took any prisoners? That is a face edge. Someone should check that for square. Yeah, still a bit thick on this face. Good. Right. Park you up there. One thing I've noticed while I've been working these, there is a very pale face and there's a very pinky face. So I'm just wondering if we can have some fun with that. And also with these two, the top one is very, it's almost like medullary rays, but the bottom one's a bit plain. So I might have this one against the wall and this one being more visible. So just thinking of playing with the light, playing with effects. James Krenov was always very fond of that as well. Looking at, reading the wood, and seeing how it fit into a room. I quite like that pinky effect actually. Less the blood, of course. There'll always be blood. So I'll just mark some triangles on for orientation. These are quite obvious because there's one thicker than the other. Right then, so that's that done. It's the clean up and preparation done. So we'll have a pause and then I'll start doing some layout. Turn off and out.